My name is Brian Haggerty. I'm the chair of the El Paso Community College Board of Trustees. Welcome to our monthly meeting. If you're at home and want to follow us on the internet, you can go to www.youtube.com/user/goepcc. Again, I want to welcome everyone this evening. Can everyone please stand so we can do the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, can you call a roll, Bill?
Mr. Uxer.
Here.
Mrs. Robles.
Here.
Ms. Nájera.
Here.
Mr. Mendez. Mrs. Moy.
Here.
Dr. Graham.
Here.
Mr. Haggerty.
Here.
Item 1.4, approval of minutes. There is none. Item 1.5, welcome to guests and staff members. Item 1.6, open forum. There is none, Judge. Item 1.7, presentations by individuals, groups, and organizations. Item 1.7.1, Dr. William Serrata, college president, will recognize individuals who have retired from El Paso Community College.
Judge Haggerty, members of the board, I'm bittersweetly happy to announce the retirement of Ms. Edlicia Simmons, El Paso Community College's popular education lead facilitator in the community education program. Ms. Simmons has announced her retirement effective March 31st, 2026. Ms. Simmons impacted many lives, and those who were fortunate to know and learn from her can attest to her dedication. She started at El Paso Community College in 1997, first as a work-study student. She then progressed to lab assistant before landing in the classroom in 2001 as a part-time instructor. Then in 2002, she ascended to the rank of popular education lead facilitator. She guided hundreds of second language learners to earn their high school equivalency certificates at many communities throughout the EPCC district, including Anthony, Canutillo, Donovan, Suncrest, Vinton, and Westway. Ms. Simmons considers herself very lucky to witness the growth of her students, many of whom went on to complete their GEDs, earn certificates, and pursue associate's degrees and beyond. Ms. Simmons wishes to extend her deep and heartfelt gratitude to EPCC and the community education program. She writes, "It has been an honor to work alongside so many talented and dedicated individuals. This is a bittersweet retirement," remarked Dean Brian Kirby. Of course, we wish Ms. Simmons a long and wonderful retirement, one that is filled with lots of travel and lots of family. We will miss her and what she's provided to the college and her students. Ms. Simmons, if you'd join me, please. Where is she? Come on up.
Item 1.7.2, optional presentations will be made by the presidents of the Classified Staff Association, the Professional Staff Association, the Faculty Association, and the Student Government Association.
Dr. B? Nobody wants.
Nobody wants to come up?
Here comes Dr. Burnham.
Oh, yeah, he always likes to come up.
Good afternoon, board members, President Serrata, vice presidents, deans, everybody, guests there, and now all those in cyberspace. Just a couple things. The Faculty Association Executive Committee is going to have a meeting tomorrow with President Serrata, VP Amaya, to discuss, among other things, some details concerning SB 37. So hopefully we'll iron those out. And gee, I hope we get Thursday off because that's what we've been telling our students. Thank you.
That's really good. Have a blessed Easter.
Section 1.8, Communications. Item 1.8.1, discussion and review regarding data, statistics, policies, and general information related to El Paso Community College by the Board of Trustees.
Chair Haggerty and members of the board, it's my honor to ask Dr. Rebecca Escamilla, and Vice President for Student Enrollment Services, to provide a presentation on spring 2026 enrollment. Dr. Escamilla, I won't steal any of your thunder, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, President Serrata, Board of Trustees, and everyone in attendance today. First, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to present and provide information on spring 2026 enrollment at El Paso Community College. I would also like to take this time to express my sincere and deepest gratitude for the opportunity I've been given and the honor that I feel for being part of the amazing staff and students of the Student and Enrollment Services Division and being able to interact with them on a daily basis. So far, it's been a joy and a pleasure to be a part of them. So for today's presentation, we're going to take a look at the enrollment trends for spring 2026 at El Paso Community College, as well as discuss some of the highlights and initiatives for the Student and Enrollment Services Division. Enrollment and recruitment is extremely important for a couple of reasons. First, it supports Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board's strategic plan on building a talent-strong Texas. In this plan, one of the strategic goals is to ensure that by 2030, 60% of Texans aged 25 through 64 attain a credential of value. In order for them to attain this credential, they must be made aware of the opportunity and encouraged to enroll into institutions of higher education. In addition to that, it is important for our community to be educated. And so in order to do that, we have to ensure that they enroll in institutions of higher ed to attain the workforce training and the transferable skills that they need in order to enhance their own socioeconomic mobility. And so we're going to take a look at some of the enrollment trends today. We're going to first start with a snapshot of overall enrollment at El Paso Community College. As of March 22nd, 2026, when I ran the analytic report, the enrollment was at 24,699. When I looked at Power BI today, enrollment was at 24,706 students. So we gained a few students between then and today. This is an increase of 3% compared to spring of 2025 semester. When we look at the breakdown of our student population, you'll notice that continuing students make up 50% of our overall enrollment. Dual credit make up 14%, and early college high schools make up 22% of that enrollment. P-Techs sit at 7% of overall enrollment, first-time in college students at 3%, and our first-time transfer population at 3%. When you combine continuing students with our dual credit, early college high schools, and P-Tech students, they essentially make up 91% of overall enrollment at El Paso Community College. When we break down the overall enrollment by student type and look at the changes between 2025 and 2026, you'll notice that some populations have experienced a growth in enrollment. For example, early college high schools and P-TECs both have experienced growth in their enrollment at 15% and 44% respectively. In addition, our first-time transfer population also showed a growth of 7%. There are also populations that have experienced declines. For instance, our continuing student population declined by 4%, and our dual credit population by 2%. In addition, our first time in college also declined by 3%. When we take a look at the trends of spring 2024 enrollment over the past 4 semesters, you'll notice that we have a steady growth in enrollment between spring 2023 through spring 2026. Again, the graph shows that 24,699 students have enrolled, but again, today it is 24,706 students. So this is a good metric. So one of the things that we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at spring 2026 enrollment, and we're gonna disaggregate it into student subpopulations. So the important note to make here is that overall, our spring enrollment has increased. But as we disaggregate the data, we're gonna notice that we'll see growth in certain subpopulations, and we'll likely see declines in other subpopulations. This is a good thing, number one, because overall our growth has increased, but by seeing which subpopulations are seeing declines, it gives us a better picture of maybe the issues or challenges that students might be experiencing in those subpopulations. Therefore, we can tailor strategies and initiatives to help those particular subpopulations to enroll, while we're also focusing on enrollment for all students at El Paso Community College. So when we look at enrollment by campus, the horizontal axis shows each of the campuses, starting with the ASC on the left. And then in the purple, you have the Mission Del Paso campus, Northwest, followed by all of our off-campus sites. So this includes our dual credit early college, high school, and P-TEC students. We have our online enrollment. In the big blue bar that you see there, we have Rio Grande in the light blue, followed by Trans Mountain, and then Valle Verde on the far right. When you look at overall growth between overall enrollment changes between 2025 and 2026, you'll notice that Northwest campus had the highest growth at 4%, followed by Rio Grande at 2% and Mission Del Paso at 1%. We also noticed that our dual credit early college, high school, and P-TEC enrollment increased by 2%, and that our online courses experienced a 13% growth between spring 2025 and spring 2026. Campuses that experienced declines in enrollment included the Valle Verde campus at -5% and the Trans Mountain campus at -13%. For full-time and part-time trends, the horizontal axis shows the semesters from spring 2023 on the left through spring 2026 on the right. The teal bars represent our full-time enrollment, and the purple bars represent part-time enrollment. When we look at our part-time enrollment, we'll notice that between spring 2023 and 26, we have seen a steady increase in that population, with a 2% growth between 2025 and 2026. For our full-time enrollment, we were seeing a growth in that population between 2023 and 2025. However, we saw a very small decline in growth, about 3%, between spring 2025 and 2026, which you can see the little gap between the bar and the dash line. For major type, the teal bars represent our academic programs. The purple bars represent our technical programs. So when you look at our academic programs, you can see that between spring 2023 and 2026, we've had a steady growth in those particular programs, with a 4% increase between 2025 and 2026. With our technical enrollment, we were seeing also a steady growth between 2023 and 2025, but we saw a small dip in our enrollment of 2% between last spring and this spring. When we look at degree type, there's a lot going on in this particular graph, so I'm just going to break it down a little bit. The horizontal axis shows all of the different degree types and the enrollment broken down by semester, with the teal bar representing spring 2023, the purple bar representing spring 2024, the dark green spring 2025, and the light purple spring 2026. So when we look at the Associate of Applied Science, you'll notice that there was a growth between 2023 and 2025, but we experienced a small decline in that credential of -5%. Our Associates of Arts have steadily grown between 23 and 26, with a 3% growth between last spring and this spring. The Associates of Arts in Teaching likewise has a similar pattern of growth, with a 4% growth between last spring and this spring. Our Associates of Science, very interesting, we were seeing a decline in that particular credential between 2023 and 2025, and we had a slight bump of 5% between last spring and this spring. For our Certificate of Completions, again, steady growth there, with the large growth of 8% between last spring and this spring. And for our Occupational Skills Award, this is the first spring semester that we're documenting this award, so we don't have data from previous semesters. So far to date, we've awarded 64 Occupational Skills Awards, with more likely to come as the spring semester continues and we go into the summer semester. For instructional mode, the graphs are grouped into modality. So we have face-to-face on the left, hybrid and blended in the middle, and online courses in the right. For the differences between the spring 2025 and 26 semester, we saw a decline in face-to-face enrollment of 4%, a decline in hybrid and blended courses of 3%, and growth in online courses of 11%. For age groups, again, the horizontal axis represents all of the different age groups broken down into their categories. The teal bar representing the spring 2025 and the purple spring 2026. As you can see from the data, our under 18 group had the largest growth in enrollment, which makes sense since our dual credit and our early college, high school, and P-TECH enrollment grew also this past spring. The other age groups that experienced growth were between ages 35 and 64, with all other age groups between the ages of 18 through 34 experiencing slight declines in their enrollment. So now we're going to take a look at some financial aid trends. As of today, we received 39,305 FAFSA applications that indicated El Paso Community College as the institution they planned on attending. This is a growth of 1% compared to last academic year. And out of those applications, 28,335 of them were processed by El Paso Community College. Out of those applications, 22,875 of those applicants were eligible for Pell Grants. So when we take a look at the Pell Grants offering versus awarded, it's important to note that 79% of our students are receiving financial aid. And this number is expected to change and grow as we grow into the summer semester. More students enroll and apply for financial aid and are awarded. So for the table that you see, the offered amount in Pell Grants is in the top row, and the paid out amount to students is in the bottom row. And we're comparing spring 2023 all the way through spring 2026. So for the offered amount in Pell Grants, you'll notice that we've had a steady increase in the amount that we offer to students within those 4 semesters. The difference between spring 2025 and 26 was $5.5 million, so that was an increase of 24% that we've offered to students. So the paid out amount's a little bit different. Between spring 23 and 25, we notice an increase in the amount of money that we actually pay out to students. But the difference between last spring and this spring is a major difference. We noticed that we actually we're short 428,000 in terms of the payout between spring 25 and spring 2026. So that's the difference between last year and this year, and that's a decline of minus 2%. So it does seem like a large amount, but it's important to remember that we did see an increase in our enrollment in the spring 2026 semester. So it's not that we're not having more students at the institution. The likely cause is that more of our students are enrolling on a part-time basis. And so for that reason, they're only able to accept a partial amount of their Pell Grant compared to the total amount that's being offered. So that's the likely reason for that. So that takes care of some of the enrollment trends. So what we're going to do is turn our attention to the highlights and initiatives within the Student and Enrollment Services Division that support both recruitment and enrollment at El Paso Community College. So this is an overview of the division itself and where all of the departments lie. I'd like to thank all of the staff as well as the leadership team for everything that they do to help to recruit students at the college and also to ensure that they're enrolled with the highest quality of customer service that they can possibly receive. So first we're going to talk about financial aid in the community. This is led by Ms. Ines Lopez and her team. So I think of this as FAFSA Workshops 2.0. So they're entitled Paying for College Informational Sessions. And so what they've done is they've streamlined the workshop itself. So this is a very important and collaborative and amazing partnership between El Paso Community College, Texas Tech, and UTEP, with the sole goal of ensuring that college-going community and making sure that students enroll into institutions of higher education. So the gateway to enrolling into institutions of higher education is completing the FAFSA application. And at least that's what this teams are telling me. And so if they are able to complete their FAFSA application, then they're more likely to attend institutions of higher education. So what they've done is they've changed the format a little bit. So instead of going to the high schools, the individual high schools, and providing information to parents and students, they've centralized the sessions themselves so that they're offered on Saturdays when parents and students are more likely to be available. And they've put them in locations where it's accessible to the members of that community. And the information has been expanded to include the benefits and reasons why students should enroll into institutions of higher ed to expand their education, but also gives them an ability to calculate what their lifestyle would look like in the future, whatever it is that they're thinking they would like to have. It calculates the amount of money that they're going to need, but it also shows them the types of careers that would support that lifestyle. Then it takes students through the calculation of the cost of attendance, and then they talk about the different types of aid that's available to them if they enroll. And then they go through the steps for applying for financial aid through the FAFSA form. After their presentation, our financial aid specialists will stay with the students and their families to help them make sure they complete the FAFSA application, as well as answer any questions that they may have. So this is a very neutral event. There's no recruitment going on. The only goal is to make sure that students complete that FAFSA application. For admissions and registrations, we have a few things. So this is led by Dr. Cassandra LaChica Chavez. So first, some data on the number of Apply Texas applications that have been processed. So this is represented in the table at the bottom. And so we've broken it down into our 2-year traditional student population as well as our dual credit population. And we're comparing the academic year from fall 25 and 26, spring 25 and 26, and summer 25 and 26. So as you look at the numbers between last year and this year, you're probably going to see that there's been a decrease in the number of Apply Texas applications that have been processed. The only exception was this semester we processed more dual credit applications through Apply Texas than in previous years. In summer 2025 and 26, it's a little difficult to ascertain the comparisons since we're right at the beginning of our enrollment for the summer, and we're going to continue to enroll students, and they're going to have to complete applications, so that number, of course, for the summer is going to change. Oops. In addition to that, the division and department continues to offer extended hours. For this spring semester, we did that again. And so the departments all got together and provided the extended hours during the holiday season for students to come in, to be able to go through the entire enrollment process and to ask any questions that they have of the staff that were present on that day. So for instance, they were available on Friday and Saturday, January 2nd and 3rd of the holiday break between 10 and 2, and again on Saturday, January 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Then they offered late night hours from 8 a.m. and all the way to 6 p.m. beginning the week before spring break. I'm sorry, my mind's on spring break. Before the beginning of the spring semester, and then through the first 2 days of the semester. And so the idea is to ensure that we get as many students as possible to enroll and offer the hours and the times and the flexibility and to be accessible so that they have the opportunity to enroll in the college. Lastly, I want to mention a little bit about Lucium CRM. That's our customer relationship management system that's currently in the works at EPCC. So right now we are working with IT on what the agreement and the scope of work is going to look like. But once that's finalized, we'll be able to move forward and implement the CRM. The idea of the CRM is to create a streamlined process for students as well as staff through their workflows as they go through the enrollment. It'll be able to track students through the enrollment process from the first inquiry all the way through to the final enrollment stage. It'll also centralize all of our student data, and it will help our ease the time it takes for our staff so they can help provide more targeted service to students. And lastly, it does provide customized and personalized messaging to students that are automated based on any questions that the students may need to ask. And it's available at any time the student may have a question. The other thing we want to take a look at for admissions and registration is the continued partnership with the dual credit program. So Dr. LaChica Chavez continues to enhance the K-12 app. So first, in order to enroll students, it started all with a SharePoint Excel file in which the schools had to complete and fill out. And then they had to submit all their documents. So it was could be a little bit tedious for the schools in trying to make sure they get all the information that they needed. And so Dr. LaChica Chavez, along with IT, developed the K-12 app. And they had a pilot year with one of the ISDs. It proved to be very successful for that particular ISD. It helps to automate and enhance the information processing for the students, makes it a little bit easier, manageable for the school districts to upload documents for each student and to submit that information for each of the students. And then it eases the processing time for our staff as well. Since then, they've expanded the use of the K-12 app to all school districts. And again, the idea is that it's going to enhance enrollment and processing time for all of our dual credit students. The next partnership I'd like to share with admissions and registration, and including the Dean of Dual Credit, is the Finish Strong Scholarship. So this particular scholarship is meant for students in the dual credit program who have completed 45 or at least 45 semester credit hours of higher education, but did not graduate with their associate's degree when they graduated from high school. And so currently this semester we have 252 students that fall into this category. And out of that, 180 students do qualify for the scholarship. And so what we've done is we've created communication to the students. So we've sent them postcards and letters informing them of the potential opportunity towards them and inviting them to come to Operation College Bound whenever we meet with them at their high school. And so we do have our dual credit advisors there to talk to the students about the opportunity and hopefully get them to enroll at the community college and finish those credits that they are lacking. And so the idea is if we're able to get them to enroll in the summer full-time and or fall full-time, and they're able to complete those credits, then it not only helps them, the student, to be able to move on in their educational path, but it also helps the college because it counts towards our House Bill 8 funding. Right, for recruitment services, this is led by Mr. Michael Talamantes. He's our director for recruitment. And you can see there's a variety of activities that he oversees to help with recruitment and enrollment. First and foremost, I'd like to mention the EPCC Recruitment Network. So this is a group of staff and faculty, anybody who wants to be a part of the network. They meet regularly and they receive information about all the recruitment events that are happening throughout the academic year. And so it gives them the opportunity to participate in these recruitment events. So any student services department who wants to provide information on the services to the students, as well as any programs that want to participate. And this would be really important for any particular program that's experiencing a decline in enrollment. If they want to increase their enrollment, they can participate in these recruitment events and help to increase the enrollment by providing information about their programs to the students that attend these events. So I would strongly encourage anybody and everybody to be a part of the recruitment network. In addition to that, we also host the EPCC Expo. At the Expo this year, it was hosted at the Mission Del Paso campus. And so we had our K through 12 counselors invited to the event. And so they receive information on a variety of services that El Paso Community College provides. This particular event, we had our Dr. Cassandra La Chica Chavez and Dr. Amaya presented information on a Student Enrollment Services Division. They got to meet the mission deans, Josh Villalobos and Dr. Jose Pacheco, and they were able to take a tour of the mission campus. And the idea is that they're able to take this information back with them to their home campuses so that they can encourage students to enroll at El Paso Community College or be able to provide information at least on enrolling. We do continue to host our EPCC roundups. So we have 2 a year, 1 each semester, located at centralized locations around El Paso to create accessibility to any parent or student that would like to attend. And again, the idea is just to provide information on attending El Paso Community College, the programs that we provide, as well as the benefits of attending our institution. And of course, the idea is to get as many students as possible to enroll, to provide as much program information as possible so any discipline or program can be a part of the EPCC roundups as well. We continue to host our campus open houses. So this semester so far, we've hosted the Rio Grande Open House for the nursing program, and that was also a successful event. We did have a lot of students attend, and we had several students enroll on site. We also continue to offer campus tours. So Mr. Talamantes oversees a booking site so that external partners have access to the schedule to see when tours are available. They can request a tour at a particular campus, and they can also request particular programs that they would like to visit with. And then from there, they'll organize and plan the event for those external visitors that are interested. We also continue to utilize the call center as well as Student Bridge. The Student Bridge is our texting platform for students. So we send important information to students regarding upcoming enrollment, financial aid completion. You know, maybe we encourage them to enroll for mini-mester 2, for example. Any text message that, you know, we want so the students have the information. And the idea is to get the students to act upon those messages. So for example, when Trans Mountain Campus was hosting an event to encourage mini-mester 2 enrollment, We use Student Bridge to send out text messages that inform them of the event, but also to encourage them to visit with their counselors and advisors, as well as faculty advisors, to talk about their degree plans and where they stand at that moment. College readiness, we visit with the K through 8 schools. We do career days, we do literacy week and Dr. Seuss days. We also go to the high schools and we visit them during their scheduled assemblies or during college week. Whatever it is that they'd like, we're available to them. Currently, we've launched our Operation College Bound. We started last week, and we were there Monday through Thursday. We visited a total of 6 schools so far. For the entire semester, we're scheduled to meet with many schools, over 30 events. And it culminates on Saturday, May 9th with our Tejano Day, which you all are invited to attend. And during Operation College Bound, it's our premier enrollment roadshows, what I quote Mr. Michael Talamantes. So the students who are interested in attending EPCC, when we go to the schools, we give them their enrollment packets. They're able to go to a tabling event where all of our programs, as well as our student services, are there to provide information. From there, they go to a presentation with Mr. Talamantes, and he gives an overview of the opportunities available to them at El Paso Community College, including the athletics, the student clubs and organizations. We talk to them about the 8-week Mission del Paso campus opportunity, as well as the Engineering Academy, just to name a few. After that, they go with our enrollment and financial aid and student services departments, and they get enrolled and they leave with the schedule for the summer or fall semester. Okay, this is just a reminder that graduation was moved from Friday to Monday, May 18th. So we provided a small data table to show you currently the number of graduates that are expected at the graduation on that day, and broken down by the different credentials that we're going to be offering. So we are going to be needing to spread the graduation over 3 ceremonies. And so just wanted to remind you about that. And also to do a little plug that we are wanting to move to electronic transcript and diploma services for our students through Parchment by Instructure, which is now just Instructure. And again, the idea here is to provide quick service to our students when they're wanting their information. Also, just a reminder, I know Ms. Nadia Rivas already reminded you last time about Teal Bash. It's just another reminder again on August 27th. If you can be there for the event, it would be awesome to see you there at Teal Bash. And that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
You said way early in the presentation that you noticed a trend of people transferring from full-time to part-time. Did I remember that correctly?
I'm sorry, I couldn't really hear the question, but
You made the comment that it appears that there is more people are transferring from full-time status to part-time status. Is that correct?
well, what we saw in the enrollment data, that there was an increase in enrollment in part-time population and a slight decrease in full-time population.
Do you have a guess as to what's happening?
Well, that's a great question. I think, there could be a lot of reasons why that's happening. I mean, with the current state of the economy, maybe there's more students needing to work. So, that limits the ability to attend full-time. So maybe they're only able to attend part-time. Maybe they feel like they can't afford the tuition for a full-time schedule. There's so many different reasons. We would probably have to dig deeper into why that would be the case.
I was just wondering if anything really popped up. Okay, thank you.
Quick question, with regard to enrollment and making it easier for our students to complete enrollment, I've heard of some concerns regarding transcript processing. Is that something that you're seeing at the college too? accepting transcripts?
Um,
Not just from other colleges, I should clarify. Other colleges are having issues with accepting transcripts from high schools. Is EPCC seeing the same issue?
I'm not really 100% certain about that. I think Dr. LaChica Chavez would be able to better answer that question. So I'm not really sure. I don't know. There she is.
Hi, good afternoon. Are we talking about the T-Rex EDI?
Yes.
Yes. No, we are not on our end, but I do know that other colleges are having issues. I was one of the first ones to ever implement it at UTEP and EPCC, so I'm a little bit more used to some of the data that comes in and any of the changes, so not us.
Well,
not
thank
at
you. I
this point.
appreciate your efforts because we get, concerns that come through that it makes the registration or the admission process a little bit more difficult, or it even puts a strain on some scholarship deadlines and acceptance, so knowing that.
Yeah, the only issue that we do see on our end, but it's okay, is that there is since the server lies with the National Clearinghouse, sometimes there's a delay, and the message saying that we've accepted, but we do get the information, so we're okay on that part.
All right. And another question, is the CRM that we're adopting going to replace DegreeWorks, or is that something completely different?
That's completely different. DegreeWorks is our degree audit system that we use in order to determine credentialing. And then the CRM is a communications tool to be able to communicate with the students.
And do we have any plans on making DegreeWorks available to counselors in other districts across the city for our counselors to have a little bit more ease into looking at what our students need?
So currently, right now, the process is that we provide them batch audits. It's available in the K-12 app that we've established with IT. So we're able to provide them. So we give them the freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and they're able to see that. So every semester we provide that. But currently, right now, we're in talks with our IT to see whether or not we already share a username with that. So every counselor has the ability to log into our K-12 app through a secure site. And we're hoping that eventually, that is my dream, that we get there.
That would be awesome. And then how about TSI scores, automatically uploading the TSI scores to the system? Is that something that would be in the works also to help our students with that process?
I am actually working with testing right now. We should be completing that hopefully this semester. It is a process that we had to work through. We had to change some of our system, but we should hopefully be running that automatic. So it would be a nightly data dump, and then, excuse my language. I don't speak human sometimes. It'd be a lot of the data that comes in, and then we'll be able to do it nightly. Mhm.
Awesome. I appreciate your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Section 1.9, Board of Trustees Business. Item 1.9.1 will be discussed after executive session. Section 1.10, Board Reports. Item 1.10.1, Treasurer's Report. No action is required. Item 1.10.1.1, February 28, 2026 Financial Statements. Item 1.10.2, President's Report. Item 1.10.2.1, Dr. William Serrata, College President, will update the Board of Trustees and audience on recent events that have transpired at El Paso Community College.
Good afternoon, Chair Haggerty and members of the board. I'd like to start my board report by having Adi Hinojosa, who refers to our student athletes as student athletes, come to the podium and recognize our student athletes for their dedication in the classroom. On the NJCAA All Academic Teams, I'm proud to announce that EPCC's women's cross-country team has been recognized as an NJCAA All Academic Team. If Adi Hinojosa, as well as Coach Miguel Bonilla, will come up, I'll let Adi Hinojosa introduce the team, and then I'd ask the board to take a photo with the team up at the podium. We're extremely proud of our young ladies.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Dr. Serrata, board members, board.
We are the all-academic women's cross-country team for 2025. Along with that, we have several academic All-Americans. Where are they? They always do that. Our team is composed of Maureen. Let me see if I can get the names right. Toski, over here, come over here. Antonio Rono. All right. Karen Geruto, Tadi, all right. Faith Rotich, Hannah Martinez, and Sophia Ramirez are the all-academic team. Along with that, we have academic All-Americans, starting off with Faith, over here. She is 4.0 GPA. She's a whack-jack all-academic first team and on the president's list. With Maureen Jabkowski and Antonia Rono over here. Both of them have 3.76. Both of them are on the dean's list, and both of them are all whack-jack academic all honors. And with Tadi, she is also on the WAC academic list and a dean's list for 2025. One note that Ms. Rono graduated already. She is a graduate. And we are on course to graduate in the spring, correct? Wow. Oh.
If Adi and Hosan, as well as Coach Bonilla, can come up with the young ladies so that the board can have a photo with them, please. Congratulations. We're incredibly proud of you.
Come on, way you go round.
Continuing with my report, Chair Haggerty, I'd like to acknowledge Ms. Yasmin Ramirez from the English discipline, who has been selected as a 2026 Changemakers honoree, a distinction presented by Progress 321 and El Paso Matters in celebration of exceptional women making a meaningful impact across our region. Faculty like Yasmin advance our mission not only through excellence in the classroom, but also through their dedication to supporting and uplifting the broader community we serve. Congratulations, Ms. Ramirez, on this well-deserved honor. On February 3rd, 2026, the college completed the pricing of the combined fee revenue refunding bond series 2026. The sale was highly successful and met all the specified parameters set forth in the bond resolution that the board approved. The bonds were priced at $74.7 million, but sold at a considerable premium of a little over $9.1 million, raising just under $84 million. Plan began in 2025 when market conditions changed favorably, supporting a refunding of the college's Series 2016 Combined Fee Revenue Improvement Bonds. That was for just under $101 million. The Fed lowered rates 3 times in September, October, and December of 2025, also contributing to favorable market conditions. Analysis by our municipal advisor, Hilltop Securities, projected various refunding options with projected savings, which highly supported pursuing that refunding. In December of 2025, presentations were made first to Fitch, then to S&P Global Rating Agencies, which served to confirm the college's high ratings of AA and AA+ respectively. A separate presentation was made to the 4 selected underwriters, an underwriter syndicate, who would be responsible for the sale of the college's bonds. Pricing occurred on February 3rd, 2026, at the offices of RBC, senior underwriter, and total orders of $537.7 million received for the college's bond sale. Over 21 separate institutional investors made offers. This allowed the college to adjust rates lower in 2 instances, resulting in more savings for the college. The sale was a 7.2 times oversubscribed. March 3rd, 2026 was the closing date, and the refunding transaction was completed. The transaction has achieved a total of $13.6 million in net present value savings over the life of the bonds. Also, by contributing additional funds, the life of the bonds was shortened by 5 years, reduced annual debt service by $405,000 over the next 10 years, so a combined a total of $49.78 million in gross debt service savings for the college. This reflected a great team effort by many parties with outstanding results. I certainly want to thank VP Flores as well as AVP Zúñiga and their teams for leading this effort. We also want to thank Maria Urbina and the current who is our advisor for Hilltop Securities. But this was a tremendous savings to the college. Certainly appreciate the board's confidence in allowing us to move forward with that, but I'd like to thank VP Flores and his team for a great job on that. Yeah, well done. This January, our Opportunity High School Diploma Program launched its pilot cohort using the Tejano Flex self-paced learning model in partnership with several of our CTE programs. Just 3 weeks into the semester, and the college already celebrated its first high school completion, and we have since reached a total of 5 completions, with at least 3 more anticipated by the end of this term. With the completion of the Opportunity High School credential, these students are now positioned to continue their educational journeys by pursuing occupational skills awards, Level 1 certificates, as well as associate degrees, milestones that were not previously within their reach. Congratulations to our students, our faculty, and our staff, whose dedication and hard work are making this transformational opportunity possible, especially to Ms. Carmen Gomez, lead counselor, for her outstanding support and leadership. We certainly appreciate the great work that is moving forward with that. Our EPCC Mental Health Committee hosted a mental health resource fair on March the 11th at the Valle Verde campus. Representatives from 27 local agencies shared information on mental health services and assistance programs available to EPCC students as well as staff and faculty. The event was a great success with 245 students in attendance. The fair provided an important opportunity for students to learn about both community-based and EPCC mental health resources. Special thanks to Carrie Van Hout, our psychology instructor and committee chair, along with Adriana Flores, a counselor, and Rocio Cardiel, government and faculty member, for their outstanding work in organizing this great event. Dr. Manuela Gomez and Mr. Aron Alvarez, both EPCC philosophy professors, have been selected to present at the 2026 Pacific Division meeting of the American Philosophical Association, one of the most prestigious annual gatherings in the field of philosophy. Participation in this highly competitive program reflects the scholarly significance and originality of their work. The APA Pacific Division meeting is known for its rigorous peer review process and for showcasing research that contributes meaningfully to contemporary philosophical discourse. Congratulations. The college recently hosted the 24th Annual K-12 Art Expedition Award Ceremony, recognizing 37 students from Region 19 for their outstanding artistic achievements. This year's exhibition received more than 1,200 submissions from students across the region, showcasing exceptional talent from kindergarten through 12th grade. Due to the high quality of entries, the strongest to date, a new Best in Show category was introduced, along with additional honorable mentions. The event reflects a true collaboration effort among students, teachers, families, volunteers, and the EPCC Art Department. Under the leadership of Vice President Flores and the Office of Finance and Administration, the exhibition was a tremendous success. The exhibition highlights the college's commitment to supporting arts education and celebrating the creativity of our community's young learners. Congratulations to all participating students and award recipients, and a thank you to Ms. Sarala Aguilar, faculty, staff, and community partners for continuing this inspiring and impactful tradition. And I'm proud to announce that Dr. Christian Servin, Professor of Computer Science, has been selected as a National Science Foundation National Artificial Intelligence Research Resource AI Education Fellow. That's a mouthful. Through the Computing Research Association, Dr. Servin is one of just 25 fellows nationwide and the only representative from a community college recognized for advancing AI education. This prestigious fellowship brings together faculty leaders to strengthen undergraduate AI curriculum, support institutions across the country, and help shape the future of AI education. During the year-long fellowship, Dr. Servin will lead seminars, collaborate on national initiatives, and promote the integration of AI resources into academic programs. With over 15 years of experience, his work at EPCC focuses on aligning curriculum with emerging technologies, incorporating artificial intelligence into coursework, and preparing students with ethical and workforce-ready skills. His contributions to extend nationally through curriculum development, accreditation work, and experiential learning initiatives that connect AI, cybersecurity, and real-world applications. This recognition highlights EPCC's leadership in innovative, future-focused education and its commitment to preparing students for careers in rapidly evolving fields. Congratulations to Dr. Servin on this outstanding national achievement, and thank you for your continued leadership and dedication to advancing student success and excellence in computer science education. That concludes my report, Chair. I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Any questions? Outstanding, Mr. Flores. 50 million, pretty tough to take. Good job.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Item 1.11, consent docket, there is none. Section 2, administration. Item 2.1, to delete existing El Paso County Community College District 2.01.02 and 3.06.04 board policies that are redundant with and/or cannot be accommodated within Texas Association of School Board (TASB) policies.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question.
Mr. Uxer,
Aye.
Mrs. Robles,
Aye.
Ms. Nájera,
Aye.
Mr. Mendez,
Aye.
Mrs. Moy,
Aye.
Dr. Graham,
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Section 3, personnel. Item 3.1, information items. Institutionally, externally funded full-time staff and faculty appointments, extensions, resignations, and retirements. No action is required. Section 4, financial services. Item 4.1, discussion and action on the approval to partner with Evolve Federal Credit Union to establish an on-site financial institution branch at the Valle Verde campus, Student Service Center.
Move to approve, and I have a question.
A second?
Second.
Go ahead, Dr. Graham.
I was just not quite sure as to what advantages we will have as a college for our students with this partnership.
Go ahead, Mr. Flores.
So originally, the partnership with the previous entity allowed for training of some students in the business area. This one does not carry that with it. However, we noticed that having an institution at the college does allow students that may need to secure an account with them for allowing them to get funds transmitted electronically is an option that we want to give students.
So we're really kind of providing the audience for them, but what is the college going to get? Like, for example, where it talks about respondents shall be willing to invest in the partnership to enhance student education and promote their relationship through a variety of means. What means?
So one of the aspects of the solicitation allows for revenue to be paid to the college for having the availability to contact our students. So that's one component of it. But largely, the biggest benefit is allowing the student to be bankable, the opportunity to open up account while they're here on campus. It also will have an ATM machine should they need to get any cash. But largely, it's the benefits of a financial institution on campus is the biggest benefit.
Okay, I guess I was looking to see if they were going to maybe offer scholarships or employment. I mean, because we're providing this huge audience for them. They should be, in my opinion, providing something in return, either internships, apprenticeships, scholarships, opportunities for students.
Right. Originally, the first agreement that we did with the previous organization did allow for that.
Yes.
But unfortunately, with the number of students at Valle Verde, they couldn't sustain paying people to be on campus for the hours that they were supplying the staff there. It didn't make economic sense. So the previous organization chose not to continue that contract. So we did another solicitation. Some of the other advantages that the financial institution will bring, they will provide financial literacy workshops and attend any NSOs that we may offer to provide financial literacy for students.
Okay, that's a plus.
It is.
They can provide that. But again, when we give them the audience, we should be looking out for the students. What are they going to provide for the students?
Right. We were hoping to get a lot more offers, but the organizations that apply have a profit motivation and have to cover their costs. And so with the shift in enrollment, the mix of our students aren't always on campus anymore. So we can't provide a large enough audience for some of the financial institutions. You saw in the presentation by Dr. Escamilla earlier, you saw the enrollment by campus. In its heyday, Valle Verde campus, back in 2011-12, we had about 17,000 students on campus. Now, I think with the presentation that was delivered, you saw like 6,689. Do you remember that exact number, Dr. Escamilla? Just kidding.
Put her on the spot.
So there were like 6,600 students, and you saw where the mix up there has gone from, I think, 50% to it was like 42%, early college, high school, dual credit. Those students would not be availing themselves of those financial institutions. You have a different mix of audience. So for financial reasons, we didn't get the response that we really were expecting. Quite frankly, we're happy to get a response. Back when the original financial institution was selected, I think we only had one respondent, and our depository bank did not provide an offer. It's about economics for them. For us, it's about convenience and flexibility and providing them with another service on campus is what it is for us.
For us, it's about students.
It is, totally. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Val, can you please call a question?
Mr. Uxer,
Aye.
Mrs. Robles,
Aye.
Ms. Nájera,
Aye.
Mr. Mendez,
Aye.
Mrs. Moy,
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
No.
Mr. Haggerty's not present to vote. Section 5, physical facilities, there is none. Section 6, curriculum and instruction. Item 6.1, discussion and action on the approval to purchase a C-arm machine for the medical imaging radiography program from Equipped MD Inc. in the amount of $111,000.
Move to approve?
Second.
Any questions? Val, call.
Mr. Exer,
Aye.
Mrs. Robles,
Aye.
Ms. Nájera,
Aye.
Mr. Mendez,
Aye.
Mrs. Moy,
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Section 7, Student Services. Item 7.1, discussion and action on the approval of a contract with Instructor, Inc. for digital credential supporting solutions, including physical transcript and a diploma mailing services software system, in an amount not to exceed $1,018,410 for a 5-year term.
Move to approve?
Second.
Any questions?
Mr. Uxer,
Aye.
Mrs. Robles,
Aye.
Ms. Nájera,
Aye.
Mr. Mendez,
Aye.
Mrs. Moy,
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye. It's about time.
Item 7.2, discussion and action on the approval of continuing education CE tuition rates for new courses.
Move to approve 7.2 and 7.3?
Second.
Item 7.3, discussion and action on the approval of continuing education CE tuition rates for revised courses.
Any questions?
Mr. Uxer,
Aye.
Mrs. Robles,
Aye.
Ms. Nájera,
Aye.
Mr. Mendez,
Aye.
Mrs. Moy,
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Section 8, community services, there is none. Would the board like to recess into executive session?
Yes, please.
Item 1.3, executive and closed session. The Board of Trustees may conduct an executive or closed session pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code for one or more of the following reasons. 1, consultation with its attorney to seek or receive legal advice or consultation regarding pending or contemplated litigation or for any purpose authorized by law. 2, discussion about the value or transfer of real property. 3, discussion about a prospective gift or donation. 4, consideration of specific personnel matters. 5, discussion about security, personnel, or devices. Or 6, discussion of certain economic development matters. The board may also announce that it will go into executive session on any item listed on this agenda if the subject matter is permitted for a closed session by provisions of Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. Any vote regarding these items shall be taken in open session. Item 1.3.1, discussion with legal counsel regarding the observance of the Cesar Chavez holiday in light of Governor Greg Abbott's directive pursuant to Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code. Item 1.3.2, discussion with legal counsel regarding cybersecurity measures pursuant to Section 551.0761 of the Texas Government Code. The time is now 5:45 and the board is in executive session.
Session, the time now is 6:43. Val, can you please call them?
I'm sorry?
Is it what?
Item 1.9.1?
Please. I don't have it open.
Item 1.9.1, discussion and possible action regarding the observance of the Cesar Chavez holiday in light of Governor Greg Abbott's directive.
I make a motion that in order to ensure the college holiday schedule, the college observes Thursday, April the 2nd, 2026, in place of the holiday originally observed on March 31st.
Second.
Any questions, comments?
Yes, this applies only for this academic school year. Thank you.
Mr. Uxer,
Aye.
Mrs. Robles,
Aye.
Ms. Nájera,
Aye.
Mr. Mendez,
Aye.
Mrs. Moy,
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Do you have another?
Next board meeting is on April the 22nd.
All right, the next board meeting we have is on April 22nd,
And we have nothing else, so we're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.